So I'm here to make another video, setting the record straight, because it seems like a lot of ding-dongs want to just keep regurgitating things that they've heard other people say without verifying, like, anything. Also, headlines. They love a headline. They don't love to understand what the body of the article is actually saying. People love a headline, like, in my last video I posed the question. Everyone wants to say that Kamala Harris called for an immediate ceasefire, and that means that she was pro-Palestinian and against the genocide. And then I posed the question, what were the terms of those deals that she was trying to push through? What were the terms, okay? Were they favorable in any way toward the Palestinians? Like, do you know even a single one of what the terms were? Oh, because I do. I do. First of all, as I've stated many times before, the term ceasefire implies that it's two militaries fighting each other, okay? That this is a war, all right? And you need to come to negotiations to end that war. What's happening in Gaza is not that. With motorcycle. Sorry about that. But what's happening in Palestine? Not a war. Not a war. And we all agree here that it is absolutely absurd. It is absurd to demand that a population that is being oppressed, ethnically cleansed, and genocided should have to negotiate the terms of the end of that genocide with the people doing the genocide. Again, the Biden administration unilaterally vetoed several ceasefire resolutions, meaning that there would be no need for a ceasefire deal or whatever between, again, the people doing the genocide and the people being genocided, but that it would come to an end through force, because it has to stop. Because people that are committing genocide don't get to determine the terms in which they will stop committing genocide. Because generally, if genocide is what they're doing, the goal is to fulfill it. Which brings me back to the point, what were the terms of that ceasefire? The terms of the ceasefire that Kamala Harris was trying to push through, because again, the United States was making it mandatory that the Palestinian resistance negotiate with the occupational colony and make concessions to the occupational colony, again, the ones that are committing genocide. But that first deal that she was trying to push through, that she talked about in a speech, was the 6-week pause, which was the 6-week pause deal. That deal was entirely wholesale favorable to the occupational colony only. It said that all of the prisoners of war would have to be returned, thus taking away every single bit of the Palestinian resistance leverage. It did not guarantee at all, in any way, that the occupational colony, after that 6-week pause, would not return to committing genocide, which we've seen over and over again they're determined to do. It was also stipulating that the Palestinian resistance would have to be disarmed and kicked out of Gaza. And what Kamala Harris was doing was putting the onus on the Palestinian resistance to accept these entirely bogus ceasefire deals. But if you weren't paying attention closely to the negotiations that were going on, to the Palestinian genocide as a whole, you wouldn't know that. You would just see, as they want you to, the headline, "This person calls for a ceasefire." And your brain fills in all of the blanks as they hoped it would. Because they're not telling you what the terms are, and how the terms is just a big middle finger to all of Palestine. Also, I don't know if I can even count how many times I saw Kamala on the campaign trail pledging her undying allegiance and loyalty to the occupational colony. That is someone who is going to continue to allow a genocidal colony to do whatever they want. Because the whole time they were disguising that genocide as self-defense. And if you have stated out of your own mouth multiple times that you are endlessly committed to that colony's ability to defend themselves, aka commit genocide, what does that make you? Also, I'm so tired of hearing people do well, you don't know the constitutional responsibilities of my president. No, I think the thing is that I don't give a fuck. Your constitutional duties as a vice president don't trump your duties as a human being. As someone who holds a hell of a lot of influential power, whether or not it is through the branches of government, as a human being, you break ties with administrations that are committing genocide. If you truly, truly are against it, as a human being, which transcends the bounds of your constitutional responsibilities, you do something, you say something, you correct the atrocity propaganda, you call it a genocide, you don't pledge your unyielding loyalty to an occupational colony, okay? This is a result of people continuously wanting to bend over backwards to give justifications to people that you should only ever be holding a fire under their ass. When it comes to politicians, you should only ever be demanding more and criticizing and making them work for you. This whole, well, you have to vote for what they give you sort of thing is bullshit.